I guess it is. Alright. Try to polish this one up. It's got a couple of like really stark polishing errors, and to that I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more. It just needs that just really small push, I think. But otherwise, yeah, I think I'm willing to share this one. I think this one's like worth sharing after I, of course, clean it up. Let me just back up. What's this? Ah, the text. Ooh, okay. All right, let's make a backup here. Merge all that. I think Grub saw the branding and didn't like it. That's okay. I'm not not really specialized in that. It's kind of me putting myself out there, you know? Because it's like, why not? Why not? I feel like I could get a decent looking branding. I feel like I could improve a little bit on the existing branding. But yeah, that's you know. My opinions. Tighten this shape up a little bit. Yeah, nice and tight. I think I did learn a lot from that Brad Rigney tutorial. Like, just a lot of stuff that I should have already known, but you know, it's always like the best new thing is the one that is forgotten. Alright, let me push this a little bit here. More shaping, more shaping. All right, let's deal with some of those egregious errors. I was using stamp, not stamp, but mixer brush to stamp these in, and it's just like, oh, so you want there to be like just this completely straight super edge right there. You got it, fam. No problem. Oh, those look crooked. That's not good. Those in a little bit. Just something like shining in the darkness. A little bit of. Yeah, really want to get that dark background so that this guy, just no question, the read is like solid. Let me take a look. I think Grump drop the layers on here, or levels on here, and then that popped it out really good. But there is just a little tiniest bit of this like rim light, crazy rim light. I wanted this color though. Be real careful with the rim. Real careful. Just the tiniest line. 10 pixels, where everything else is like thousands and thousands of pixels. This shape too could be a little tighter. A little bit. some of these concepts, I don't know, they just kind of look cool. Like, I'm not absolutely sure if they're, you know, functional in any way. Like the like the gauntlets, TBH. But if I saw this, I don't know. I would at least think that, you know, it was a professional who did it, and it was like, you know, like yeah, this looks like a, you know, a real game kind of. I could see it. Not to toot my own horn too much. But yeah, I think it's got that flavor in it at least. Just needs a little bit of that good old polish. Good old spit shine. But yeah, I think I did not pull any punches. Sometimes my brain does that, like when I feel like I'm, you know, trying to grab that golden hoop coming towards me. Sometimes I falter. But yeah, I think this time no anxiety, just performance. A little bit more. A little bit more. Hey, Ryder, what's up, dude? What's going on? Tooting your own horn. Self-fellatio. Hey, you know, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Sometimes you got to take care of your own problems. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of this thing where it's like there's a lot of doubt just constantly, so the only way to deal with it is just stand tall. Stick to your guns. You know? My wife looked at it and she was like, "This looks nothing like anything you've ever drawn." So at least I'm not the only one. It's like it looks like it doesn't look like anything you draw, cause it's got different colors. Is her verbatim thing. I'm like, man, I use all the colors. Don't be sassing me. I do use a lot of browns though, so I could see where she's coming from. Polish, 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 polish. Just copy this so that I can have it in a little thumbnail for myself so I can track where I'm going. It's gotta match that thumbnail. Gotta read as well. Right now, it's somewhere between the two. But if I just jam like, an adjustment layer in there, and just hit it with that. Begins to look a lot like that. The thing is though that it's very dangerous to do something like that, especially because it breaks the image a little bit. But that is pretty much, I think, thumbnail wise, I think that's what we're going for. For the thumbnail, I think that works great. For a larger image, I don't know. For prints, it's difficult because it should actually be lighter too. So to be honest, like, I like painting dark things. I like painting like everything in a dark a little bit, but all right, let me see if it's matching a little bit, because like there's just a little bit of white there, and it's difficult to read value when it's screwed up with my something like super white. But yeah, I think my thing matches now, which is good. And I fixed up the shoulder area a little bit, so that's also something. Let me see. That, I think it does match the thumbnail now. Added a little bit of what's it called? little bit of a patch here too, so that's good. Can you get reported for euphemisms on YouTube? Is that a thing? Okay, I think the thumbnail more or less matches this with the levels anyway. Without the levels, it's a little dark, but with the levels, yeah, like it matches. But yeah, the thing is that once you do levels and on a larger image, it might make it a little bit too contrasty. Might make it look plastic where didn't before. So, you know, maybe tone it down to 90% of what it is, about 90%, just so that, you know, there's a little bit more. Are they that Puritan? I don't know. I don't know. I heard that they're not really watching the streaming section right now, which is good, I think. That makes for great content, you know. When you give content creators space, that's usually when you get the best content out of them. But I've heard that there's a whole lot of this, like, really vague bans going around. Just gonna patch up some of this since levels broke a little bit. Well, I'm definitely not getting monetized anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Something about turn it. No more gay frogs. No more. Never again. Never gonna happen. Why is that? Why is that? Like, I like how anyone who touches the subject has to be like, look, I'm not a fan of gay frogs. I've never been a fan of gay frogs. Look, there's no gay frogs around my house, man. But, and then there's like this big but. It's funny that, you know, this is the status quo. I'm personally not gonna comment on it too much. Feel like smarter people already have. If we're, you know, going by Voltaire or Hitchens or, Stuart Mill, any of these guys that have been, you know, respected throughout the last century, or a little bit more for Voltaire, I guess. Oh shit, why? Oh right, I'm under the levels. Gotcha. What's on this? Oh yeah, the branding. You must admit the legs on the critters though.
Are gay frogs real? I don't know. Find out today.
I don't know. I think we're entering a very different time, and we need different solutions to problems that never before have existed. But rehashing old solutions and pretending like, yeah, we just thought of this. Yeah, you know, like, like the censorship thing. It's a totally cool new solution that we could just implement. It's great. We've made this. Yeah, that's not kosher. I think that is like that's really not dealing with the problem. That's making it worse. To be honest, it's a very Foucaultian. Foucaultian? Is it Foucaultian or Foucaultian? I'm just gonna call him Fucko. Yeah, very Fucko-ish notion that government or any sort of power that is it kind of acts in the darkness. So through algorithms or any sort of vague ways does not allow for an actual response from the people, and it's actually more totalitarian than the government that literally executes people on the street, because that allows for some sort of power dynamic. And so it's strange. It's strange. Yeah, the 50s are back. You got it. No, it really is a strange time we're living in. I guess these solutions always come back. There's always like one guy is like, well, let's just try it again, what's the worst that could happen? But yeah, I do think like embattling these people and making them into martyrs for their cause is not the best way of doing this. It's not a good way at all. But that's, opinions. Without even going into the subject matter of like what is actually the problem, because none of these companies actually did that, did they? They just said, well, they did something vague here and not citing examples, and so just believe us that they were wrong and you gotta do it. And like most people don't actually watch any of his stuff, so they wouldn't know. And so I don't watch any of his stuff, so I don't know. Maybe he did do some of this stuff, but I have no idea. But something tells me that he's a little bit more careful than that. Instead of the communists, we have the alt-right. Even the Republicans ban diversity of thought. Yeah, it's really strange. It's really strange. I like ideas. I don't, I'm not trying to talk about politics. I like abstract ways of thinking about things, and like I don't really care about which group of people holds political office, as long as they are on the right side of these ideas like free speech, something that's been codified into our laws. It doesn't seem like anyone is really on that side. I'll be honest. I don't really think anyone really gives a shit about it, to be honest. TBH. I think like the only people that care about it are like some kind of academic philosophers, like I don't know, like Stuart Mill or something, or intellectuals. Everyone else kind of just like uses it as leverage, and when they get power, they're more than happy to say, well, you know what, that's enough of that, whatever the other guy is doing. Let's not what's it called, let's not mince words here. Like if you've ever read for instance the love child of libertarian slash, I guess an anarcho-capitalist slash Republican mainstream thought, Ayn Rand's messages to, well, I think it was like it was like a petition that she started, and it sounded something like, we gotta censor these people because like they're like saying shit I don't like. And then it's like, wait a second, hold up, I thought you were the libertarian one. And then it's like, well, actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Libertarianism only works for the people that I like, you see, and then like, so it's difficult to say that, you know, okay, politics, man, politics is important. Here it is. I just talk about like writers, what they've written down, you know. I'm not really into like mainstream, what's it called? Current events. Not really into it. But I do want to like, cause like there's like this thing where it's just like, oh man, my side really loves freedom of speech. It's like, no, they don't. They absolutely hate that shit. Like if they had the choice, it'd be gone. Like, and any side works like this. Any sort of collectivist type of group wants to, any sort of ideologically driven. I don't think there is anything outside of that. Like there's no such thing as a non-ideologically driven, what's called collectivist, train of thought out there. To be honest, it's always like tribal, and it's always we got to get together and stop these people from making a mess of things. And so yeah, I don't know. So for me, I'm more like apathetic. I just like to poke when they're saying like, oh yeah, we're doing this stuff, we're so great. I don't like that. That angers me a little bit. It's like, no, you're not really doing that. What you're doing is you're consolidating power. But yeah, it's always really easy to paint yourself up as the good guys. You know, we're the good guys. Those other guys, they're not good. That's why we gotta censor them. And yeah. And so like that, I mean that there's a huge paradox there, I think, and I'm trying to come to terms with it, but it's very difficult for me since I am a bit dogmatic. I believe that, you know, liberalism and like in my heart of hearts, I think liberalism is great. It's just the best available framework. But the paradox there is, it seems to me that you always have to consider outcomes rather than ideals. And it seems to me like the outcome of liberalism is just more of the same tribalism, more of the same, like these groups, communists, alt-right, they all came from, right, the pre-existing condition for those groups to arise, come to power, is liberalism. Like they can't exist in a, you know, totalitarian society. Like it just wouldn't work. As a very you know, kind of like grave example there. Not not a like realistic one, but like more like so it's, you know, it's difficult. There's the paradox of tolerance, and it doesn't seem like liberalism has an answer. At least to me, it seems like to some of these problems, it just doesn't. It needs to be patched. You know, the code isn't running well. I'm not sure what the patch is or what it looks like, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the point of liberalism is to destroy liberalism, but it seems like those outcomes, those, you know, creating groups like that, is not great. At least that seems like that to me. I don't know. It's just a thought, really, that I've been having. It's that there might not be a, or at least liberalism is not, you know, we're gonna be able to sustain past some of these things, and there will be a need for something else take its place. And it seems like if that doesn't happen, the alternatives are the popular ideologies of today, which are honestly pretty terrible, because a lot of them are just rehashes of failed ideology from the 60s. So it's just a shame, really. I think we deserve better. I think America deserves better. That's the only thing I, you know, my what's it called? My 2 cents there. Democratic socialism, what the Dutch had in the 80s. I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, I think democratic socialism has a lot of contradictions inside it. Like, if we're talking about like a strong market economy within, you know, some sort of controlled framework. The other name for that is fascism, mixing capitalism with socialism. If you look up the old definitions of what it is, under a little bit more totalitarianism, but it seems like every democratic socialist that I've ever spoken to does not believe in democracy at all. Like, just period. These people can't decide for themselves. We need committees to decide for them. There's absolutely no room. Yep, sure. Fascism was used to mean a mixing of the economic systems of the right, capitalism, with, yeah, if you look up what is fascism, you know, if you really look it up, what does it mean? Because it has turned into basically a slur word for stuff I don't like. It doesn't actually have anything to do, and I'm not like advocating for fascism. I'm just saying that there is a definition to the word. It does exist. And so when someone says like democratic socialism, it usually is very loaded with it's not a, you know, a clear-cut concept. It's more like loaded with a lot of things, a lot of emotional kind of conjugations, I would say. It's difficult to even say that word, because it's like, it's the things you think when you say that word, but what it means to you. And so yeah, there's also socialist Democrats, right? There's a difference between the two, right? The slight difference, depending. What's called socialist Democrats is kind of like a euphemism, to be honest. For just, you know, socialism. It's like the Democratic Republic of Congo, my friend. There's nothing democratic about it. You know? Or the Democratic Republic of North Korea or some shit like that. The People's Republic, sorry. So I don't know. Like, I'm not even sure if democracy is really the best way of solving these things. I'm not, you know, I'm not absolutely sure that Tom, Dick, and Harry do have the answers to complex poli-sci questions. I don't know. But yeah, Orwell wrote about fascism being little more than a word for bullies at this point, and that was, you know, that was a while ago. So yeah, unfortunately, the way it works is that we are in a constant state of crisis at all times. We are that's kind of the leftist argument against you know, American capitalism is, or, you know, the American form of government is that we are in a constant state of war. That's a tangent here. I don't know what to do with it. Or we are in a constant state of, you know, hey, crisis. We're in crisis now. We never get out of war. We're always fighting someone. So a libertarian might say, like, we don't need to do all these foreign wars, right? I'm not so sure. And the euphemism they use usually is like, oh, we don't need to fight any wars. We just need a strong national defense, you know? It's a euphemism because, you know, it's like a rocket defense array. It's a that's right. North Korea, best Korea. Yeah, there's some examples of totalitarian states that are still left over. Saudi Arabia, for instance. Monarchy. I don't know. Again, I like ideas. I like talking about ideas. I'm not really saying like, hey, you know,
These guys are wrong.
these particular guys. I'm more interested in like, well, is this a problem? What are the solutions to these problems? You know, can we say which solution is actually close to reality, which solution has nothing to do with reality? I think that's a discussion kind of like you can have. But without angering anyone too much, can't believe. But right now, the way it works is if you're against a certain political group, that means that you are against a set of, not ideas, but a set of people. Like, you hate this type of person. And they've kind of glued together this way of thinking, this like, I would call it, I don't know, apex tribalism or something, where even being apolitical now is pretty much dangerous, because like if you say that I don't really care about this, it's like, oh, okay, I guess you don't care about these people then. It's like, well, look, and then it's like, oh, well, then you have no response, then therefore therefore you are evil. But like, I don't know about this making your priority the nation's priority. This sort of thinking has been around for a long time, but tying it with, you know, group rights, especially now where civil rights seems to not be enforced for certain groups of people and enforced heavily for others, seems really strange. I don't know. My solution is for everyone to just calm down a little bit. Just chill out. You know, stop firing directors over some tweets. You know, just chill out with that. You don't have to do any of that. You really don't. Things like that. I guess on the other side of that, people should stop tweeting. As the face of a, you know, private company, if you are I think if you want to be treated as a private person, you shouldn't be able to fly the flag of a nation. It's like if Kim Jong-un, you know, started a Twitter account and was like, I'm just a regular person, you know, and then just started tweeting like pro North Korean government stuff. No one would care. But as soon as you give yourself the flag, you know, I'm the president of North Korea, you put on that hat, then suddenly your opinion really matters. And so I don't know, I don't think that's wise, you know, tying yourself to a brand and, you know, actively advertising like, hey, I work for these people, did you know that? I work for them. And then at the same time being like, my thoughts are important, here's what I think about geopolitics. I don't know. By the way, I'm kind of a hypocrite, but yeah, I feel like I haven't said anything other than, you know, these are ideas that I think are interesting. These are ideas that I think are not interesting. I don't think I've offended anyone, but I feel like now on Twitter, everyone is offended constantly, so it doesn't matter what you are, what political group you belong to, or anything like that. It's just it's kind of like this mob justice. What is justice if not what is carried out by a mob of people on the internet? I don't know. I feel like Plato wrote that down in the Republic. I think that was in there. It was like right next to his questions to the other gentleman. It's like, what really is justice? And one of them was like, you know, it's just a mob of people on social media going after people's jobs. And Plato was like, yeah, that's right. Let's call that justice. How about that? Let's do that. Oh, and since it's social media, attach part of that there somehow. Gotta really think up a good branding for that. Let me think about that for a little bit. It's gotta be a really good way to combine those two words. And yeah, I guess I'm not really great at branding. I have no idea. Call it Media Mob. Yeah, if you combine justice and social media, mob justice and social media, you get Media Mob. That's about right. That's what I would call it anyway. But I'm an out-of-touch old person, so. Speaking of other out-of-touch old people, there's a new Sam Harris podcast that's actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Recommend. Another piece of evidence. Polish. Let's see, where are we at? Let me just assign this one branding. Value-wise, it looks good. The value leads. I'm just gonna leave that. Did I flip it over at some point? Yeah, I must have flipped it over. Yeah, for the thumbnail, I think we're Gucci. Like, it matches the read, I think. Maybe a little bit more blue over here on the shoulder. Where's layer 90? None of these on layer 90? I actually have to click it? Oh, okay. Alright. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Man, I feel like I need a second coffee. I kind of want to listen to Kyle Kalinski's thoughts. on some of this stuff. He always has. You know, I really like these guys who actually think. It doesn't matter what, you know, what they think, what side they're on, that sort of thing. I don't know. I find those people to be incredibly respectable. But yeah, I haven't listened to Kyle for a little while. I usually caught him on like Twitter. He's kind of a firebrand, and so he gets a little bit into it, a little bit But yeah, out of the people that I actually listen to, like if you count up those conservative voices, it's like Jordan Peterson, and I listened to him to, you know, to poke fun at him a lot of times. Just yesterday, for instance, he shared out, or not yesterday, maybe it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I get to things 2 weeks late, which is I think the optimal time to get to things, because otherwise it's like, I see what you're doing. You're talking about current events. No, this is like 2 weeks old, no controversy. So he shared out a PragerU video, which is, you know, I don't know, Prager videos. I just have like kind of an innate disdain for them for some reason. I just don't what's it called, like a reflex. I just have a kick. But yeah, this one was like on climate change. I don't know. I feel like Jordan should stick to his guns, to be honest. Jordan should stick to his guns. Not that he can't talk about something, but like something that he's not literally a professor at Toronto U of for. But I don't know, it just kind of dilutes the message, drives people away. Because climate science is kind of a very emotionally laden issue for a lot of people, me included. And so I think he has a lot of balls, but ultimately I don't think it's gonna look good for Kermit. Plus, I'm not. I don't know. Something about that video. I guess it's just that I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about any of these things like climate science. And the same goes for for Kermit. I feel like he doesn't really know that much about climate science, and so it would just look bad to share out what could be reasonably classified as propaganda for one side. I don't know. That's one of those questions that, like, I don't know. No point in really touching, since I feel like the solutions of it are so just far out of the reach of even government. Like, sure, you could say that, you know, policy is Um, policy is important, and the way we regulate corporations might be too. But I'm kind of the same mind as Scott Adams, that I feel like it has to be a sort of a technological breakthrough. But to get that breakthrough, and this is where I disagree with him, I think we have to focus on the problem. We can't just pretend that there is no problem. And that, I think, is the strategy of a lot of people. So yeah. I guess the question is always, should the state be involved in this, right? Is that like what I want to see my tax dollars go to? It's a question for a lot of people. That I don't know. Oh, TJ Kirk actually had some really great ideas. Which is really strange because he's kind of irrelevant now. He's pretty much like a dead horse that everyone kind of beats on. So, to seek quality content from him, where he's not trying to kind of play a character or, do all these things, where he's just putting forth some ideas. And I realized he was trying to like spice up his content by being just over the top ridiculous. Or maybe it was a parody the whole time, I don't know. Maybe it just went over my head. But yeah, it was I think it drove a lot of people away. And yeah, you gotta take those chances, I guess. Find that really good sweet spot. And I think he already had found it. That's the main contention. Because he does have interesting arguments. Again, like Kyle Kalinske and these other guys. Really interesting ways of thinking about things, and very original, pretty fresh thoughts. Because it is hard to think, different. That's what is that? Apple's tagline? Think different. Like. How? You're biologically like there's a it's like a Herculean challenge, think different. You think the way that you think. Especially to think differently than your peers. That's also very difficult. Very difficult, because the stigma of thinking differently is so strong. And we as social creatures, we kind of pay a price for that. Being, social creatures, and that is, good ideas might be buried because of popularity contests, basically. Oh, I'm sorry, elections. Sorry about that. I just can't wait till the robots take over. That's really my political position. I'm a techno robot thing. It should be the robots making all the decisions. But wait, we are robots. Oh no. Robots. Autistic governors only. I want someone that is unwilling. Yeah, I was like, for a second there, I was like, is it the robots or is it my mic? Oh no. Yeah, I want to see more just like absolutely. Yeah, I want to see what an autistic government looks like. That's my just dream government. It's like everyone is driven by these innate compulsions to do and act things out. I don't know. I like in my mind it looks really good, but I'm pretty sure an autistic government would be really bad. You paint well for a human. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Robots. Can't wait. I can't wait, honestly. Pop these hands a little bit. Tiniest bit. I don't want to pop them too much because then they start meshing. Honestly, if I saw this as a thumbnail for something, I'd be like, oh yeah, that looks kind of good. But yeah, gonna take it to the polls and my art director. Art director. But yeah, like it's if there is a solution to some sort of government, it's definitely not a solution that we've tried. Absolutely not. It seems like, to me at least, that is what's up. And so yeah, can't wait for the robots. Let's see what they do. Speaking of robots, Eric from Commenticate did a super awesome video. Just really great. I don't want to spoil it because it's so meta. I don't know. I loved it. It's a masterpiece. Masterpiece. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 for sure. The solution is all humans serving robots, but that is just my value. I mean, opinion. Yeah, it's like I believe that it's gonna don't serve me because you want to serve me. Serve me because serving me means serving the rest of humanity. You know, something like that. Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. But like for fucking anime memes. That's right. That's right. He is popped. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. helps. Yeah, usually it's very difficult to come up with the right solution, but it's really easy to see a solution that's not working. Here's one. We gotta stop pretending that if someone disagrees with you, that means that they're evil. Or if their interests are not your interests, that means that they are, you know, categorically opposed to your interests. Another thing is someone causing a problem might also not be able to provide a solution for that problem. You ever heard the parable of the passerby? It's a really good one. If you Google it, be surprised. But yeah, that one's kind of cool. I really like that thought experiment, actually. If you don't bother when listening to that new Sam Harris podcast, one of the big takeaways for me was an argument presented by one of the guests. And it was something like, look, if Bill Gates ran you over with his pickup, and there was, you know, you as the passerby, right? There was no way for medical science to fix the damage, and the only way to fix that damage was something that Bill Gates couldn't do for you. Would you sit there and, you know, just complain, or would you do the thing that is required? And what would be a good way of solving that problem? Would it be to do that intense physical therapy that's free, or would it be to, you know, go after Bill Gates for something that he can't fix at all, even though that he did cause the problem? It's an interesting allegory. I find anyway. I think it's very powerful. I think the original was a law professor. The original person who said it. I find it very, very compelling, just as a way of thinking about things, and it's so outside of what we kind of tend to think about. For us, it is like the person that caused the problem has to be able to solve it, or the solution has to come from them, and that's just not true. That person might have absolutely no way to solve that problem. So a really interesting argument, I think. I hope the last thing I see is Bill Gates trying to stop the bleeding before I go to Windows 95 heaven. System rebooting. Right. Windows 95. I remember like Windows 95, 98 used to get such a good like rap. It's like, oh, these Windowses were so good. No, they weren't. They were shit. Windows 10 is shit too. Beep boop. I am a robot. All right, let's take a look. Mucho. Oh shit, someone started drama in my group chat for work. They're like, this item is not placed in the right place. It's like throwing like fire bombs in a glass house. Like, no one does their job. Like, pretending, like, I mean, people try, right? There's always people trying, but the expectations and the reality of the work is that there's no way to achieve those goals in those conditions, and until you change the conditions, there's not going to be any change with regards to the goals. And so people will try, of course. You have to keep trying, but like the problem is like, yeah, who left a coffee mug in the sink today? And so like instant pushback. The whole group is just like taking a big what's it called? A big angry collective dump on top of his head. Oh god. Oh shit. At the end of the day though, this drama is always bad. I gotta tell you, cause now I'm gonna have to be taking photos of my work, cause these people, like, I mean, I make mistakes, right? There's always mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. We're human. We do things wrong. We do things wrong on purpose sometimes, because of different types of conditions that might make us do those things. But to pretend like everyone has to be perfect means that they're gonna be like looking through all of my work and then finding like that one mistake, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? That mistake wasn't there when I took this photo. Some shit like that. But that's what they do, like, to, as like the kind of the way of punishing. Oh shit, you know what? This thing is in the wrong space. Let me see if that's on just that layer, so then I could just move it. Oh shit. It's clapback season in this. God damn. God damn, that was one of the managers. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, I was already like, huh, this image is out of context because there's a very good reason why this happened. And let me just have that all in the one layer. And so let me just move this. Couple pixels. I don't think I can do that. Without upsetting. This chat is pretty savage. Y'all have to add him to the group so he can see. Use my phone to post that. That's some chicken shit, you know? Like if you start like throwing rocks with someone else's fucking phone, that's gotta be like the penultimate nonsense. I mean, he did say that it was him posting it, but like, I don't know. Like, that's still kind of dirty. Let me see. Someone's gonna write that number down, you know. Make a mental note, you know. Put it in a little folder in their minds. And the next time that number says some shit, you know, it's gonna double click on that folder. And it's gonna be like, huh. Oh, hey, I remember you. But yeah, I mean, like, no one really gives a shit. Like, this pretense. Everyone really cares. Not caring doesn't mean that I don't try, though. Like, I always gotta try. I'm autistically disabled from not trying. Like, I gotta try, man. Got some kind of hard work matrix built in. Because people notice, they're like, man, we always see you working so hard. Those people are probably stealing though, so I don't know. I don't know if they're just trying to distract me or if they're legitimately giving me a compliment. I don't know. On-duty manager came in and was like, nah. we're not doing this, guys. Yeah. Pretty savage all around. The guy sends me a message. What is going on? Like, but yeah, some people feel like they gotta dunk on others. Especially if those people don't even like speak English. I feel like this guy works really hard at this job. Like he does all the stuff as much as humanly possible, right? Because like, again, we're all human. But he gets like none of the respect for doing it. And people just dunk on him because he doesn't speak English. I just like, I find that shit like kind of upsetting. I don't like that. Especially because a lot of people aren't really doing all that work. They're really not, you know, and when those people are like taking a shot at one of them like legitimately hardworking people, I'm just like, I don't know, that pisses me off a little bit. I don't like that. I ain't about that life. Because, yeah, we live in the era of smartphones. Everyone's got a phone. Everyone can take a photo of you fucking shit up. Like, you don't really want to start, like, something you can't finish. It's a bad idea. This is like one of those keep your head down situations, I feel like. Because, you know, if you go against the collective, again, a great example of peer pressure still stifling maybe good intentions. No, I assume that the intention is actually bad. Assume that the guy is getting chewed out by the manager and needs to say something about someone else. But people ain't having that. Not today. There's like 6 pages of clapback. That's another thing. Like, he could have, like, this guy could have easily just talked to a manager and said some shit to him, like, hey, this guy didn't do the work. Like, here's what's it called. But instead, he chose to do like this public shaming. Like, here's a photo in the group chat, guys. There's always a risk, you know. If you're gonna do that, there's always a risk. You gotta consider. Gotta consider. Hey, is this really worth doing? Is this really worth doing? Because the herd mentality, and I'll be honest, like, I'm with it for now, because it's like, because I know this is gonna, like, it's gonna hurt if we get, you know, a lot of people just selling each other out. I don't like that. I don't really like that at all. Something about that doesn't sit right with me. Cause like, it really is that easy to just like get someone fired. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say how to do it, cause like, even having those thoughts could be suspect of doing that, and then it's like, oh, did you do that? Some shit like that. But it really is that easy to get someone fired if you really wanted to, especially in like a retail environment where there's like there's no one that is irreplaceable. Everyone is a drone. You're basically you know, just there for the paycheck, and everybody knows it. No one suspects that you have a, you know, an innate desire to sell people products at a dollar store. I don't think anyone is that deluded to think that. So yeah, there's no one that's like irreplaceable rather. And no one really cares. Like, if you screw up and it's like, it's not even that bad, go to a different store. No one cares that much. I like though that there's kind of an assumption, since I'm the only white dude, that I am the manager. I don't like it because people get it like all up in my face, like, hey, you the manager? Why don't you like do these things? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not the manager. I feel like if I was the manager, I would have the same answer. No, I'm not the manager. Talk to someone else. There's rats in the store. Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like these the customers care more than most of the employees. It's like, what am I gonna do exactly? I'm not the rat catcher. I mean, guess I could tell the manager there's rats in the store, but something tells me if I know, that she doubly knows. Oh shit. I'm busy, my dude. Trying to call me? I'm here sitting reading this drama, and the dude that started it decides to call me, like, of all people. Again, I am not the manager. I don't understand. I don't understand why you calling me for. Calling in during the stream. Start some store drama, that's right. I don't got shit to do. My man. It's like... I told someone what I do. I said I make branding and key art for video games, and because that's what I'm doing right now, and so that's the first thing that came to mind. And she's like, yeah, that's a job, I guess. I was just so blown away. It's like, my man. I didn't say nothing, but I was just like, what? Really? That's a job, I guess. Alright. Not offended or anything, just like baffled. A little bit baffled. That's a dream job, I guess. Like, what? Shit. I don't know. Bring some lines in to break up the shape. But yeah, this dude's like, I don't know, I think this dude's like not getting it or some shit. Like, I don't know why he's calling me. Like, what did I do? All I said was that it's not in the wrong place, it's actually in the right place because that's the way it works. And in fact, I wasn't even the first person to say it. Like, the manager said it right before me. But I just, like, I already typed it up, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna send it. But this is some next level nonsense. Call Joanna, my dude. You don't need to be calling me. Greg Mullins had mentioned people asking him what he does. He tells them and they don't get it. Yeah. I feel like they just don't understand, man. How awesome it is. I feel like they just like the terminology is so vague. Branding considerations and things for what the fuck does that mean? Or concept art, like, what is that exactly? Can you put that on a plate? Like, is that like, does that come with fries? You know, it's a difficult set of words that most people don't have in their like lexicon, I think. And so when you tell them that I make key art, they're just like, what the fuck is that? Or illustrations, they're just like, huh, what? That's why I stick to things that people know. Like, people know what paintings are, so I'm like, yeah, I paint stuff. But even that, it's like, oh, so like houses and stuff? And I'm just like, damn it. Fuck you, stop texting me. What is your problem? I never complained to no one. What the hell? I'm gonna send this like to fucking. I'm gonna forward this shit to the manager. I don't like this. I don't like that at all, actually. Let me Nah, I don't play that. I don't play that, dog. I ain't doing that. Yeah, no thanks. Manager can deal with it. I don't play that. I don't play that at all. Nobody like talk to me that way. No thanks. No thank you. I gotta come in today still. Like, what the fuck, dog? This dude is so hilarious, though. Fuck you, stop texting me. You're the one that texted me, dog. What? Like, what? Like, bitch, please. I don't got time for that. Oh, man. Ooh. Yup, that's how it goes, man. 3 seconds to fuck up your whole fucking week. Yeah, man. That's just how it is. Today's world, if you gotta say something to someone, you gotta do it to their face. No one recording you and shit. I don't know if that would actually be worse. Craig Mullen's wife is the costume designer for movies. I think I heard you talk about that before. I think I heard someone mention it and I was just like, that's just crazy. But I feel like once you're in there, you just kind of meet these people and it's like your social group is that, and so it's like, yeah, I guess pretty dope. Most people don't really go outside their social circles. Whew. Still got 30 minutes to paint this up. Let me think. For today, rather. I don't know if there's anything else that's like super unpolished, but I feel like we're making really big strides. Getting to that. Getting close to that finish line. I can feel it. I can taste it. Because it's getting to that point where nothing I do is improving it. I've heard Jesse describe this very vividly. Just moving your cursor, but nothing is happening. Kermit has a word for this, has a parable for this too, actually. I think he's like, well, when you do something without it being, I think he says easily noticeable as just better. Something like that. He said it in a, what's it called? Said it in one of the podcasts. I don't think he was talking about art. I think he was talking about something else, but like, it was some kind of quality of work thing. Like, when should you stop working on something? It was like, well, when you can no longer see a difference, and this one is better than the other. I don't know about that. I feel like I'm trying to pad the hours here, but it's a difficult like calculation, that ending. Like, you gotta know when Yep. Yep. Hard work gotta speak for itself. There's no substitute. Absolutely none. Ding. The drama keeps going. No brakes on the drama train. With managers, though, I don't like to talk. I feel like that gives me a bad position. So I just listen. Just listen. Don't say nothing. I think I saw a headline for a negotiation. It's just like, just stop talking. I think that was the title of the argument, the article. Just stop talking. And that's kind of true, I think. Ah, shit, I did. 2. Alright. I think my thumbnail matches and outperforms, since I have a couple of fixes in there that weren't there. And a couple of changes to what's called? I feel like if I don't cut him here though, I'm gonna get another message, so I'm gonna cut him here. But I'm like, I don't know, I'm on the ropes with this, but I feel like the thumbnail says that, so I'm gonna do that. Cut it here. I feel like it's popped enough, but just a little bit more. Just a tiny bit more. But the difference between the first one and this one is pretty clear. It's much more popped. Like, it's popping. It's pop-a-loppin'. Even without this thing that I just did. Shit. Even without that last line. I think it's very solid. But yeah, if you zoom out, I feel like you can tell that it's a person sitting There's lining and what's it called? I feel like it would make a good icon too. At this size, it's a little difficult to tell what it is. But that's because here's when you do need that pop, I think. Here's where you do need that pop. Just a little bit on this side, just the tiniest bit. Getting rid of the very nice happy accident there, but silhouette has to pop at the sides. And I think it does. I believe it does. Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit of darkness there. That might be. Those hands might be popping too much. Some of it. Now I have to have like a speech ready, cause like I know this guy's gonna come up and be up in my face like, oh my god, why are you writing this? I'll tell him, if you want to talk to someone, talk to the manager. I don't like that. I don't like it when people start escalating shit that doesn't need to be escalated. It's a job, dog. Alright. Not a career. Like, I can understand fighting for this. Like, I can understand fighting for something you like to do, that's important to you. So something when my real job, I'd be like, I'd be more inclined to not robot as much. You know what? This thing is just a little small, I feel like. Unduplicate this layer. Merge it upwards. And make this a little bigger. I'm not sure I like that change. Maybe a little skew. No. That just makes it worse. I do need to fix it somehow. Let me think. Let me think. Just a little bit of a rotation. Couple pixels down. I feel like that shape is just a little wrong. I'm getting a raw deal here. Maybe if I... make this a little bit bigger. Because this hand is coming up a little bit, you know, so I could reasonably be a little bigger.
Workplace drama, super exciting.
But yeah, I don't get it, man. I guess some people just care more. I some people just care more. I care when it's my butt. I guess this guy is probably caring because it's his butt. I want to make it seem like the cuff is being displaced by the metal. That'd be good. I can do that. Oh god, they just keep going, man. Oh, it's almost 2 o'clock. I gotta go grab a bite to eat. I've got some. Oh no, I don't have a microwave. My microwave blew out. I gotta buy a new one. Every time I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna microwave that shit. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna pan fry it. Same thing, no difference. But I think that's it for the day. Thank you guys for coming by. Thanks for the conversation. Sorry for the boring drama. I think it feels the time much better than my ideas about ideas. So, it's like there's only a oh shit, dog. They just keep going, my man. They just keep going. It's like pop, 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 pop. What the fuck is 19? I like how this person doesn't understand that his actions aren't in like a vacuum. I don't know. People like that. Anyway. Yep. Thank you guys for coming again, and catch you all later.